Blockchain, it's important we have this tool for instant settlement. It is also important because our allocation of capital becomes more meaningful. Optimization of the capital, I should say, improving the capital optimization. It will reduce the counterparty risk. It will reduce the counterparty risk. We are also going to improve the contractual performance due to smart contracts, because you have trust and will. When it is a distributed architecture, you have alternate controls that are designed and delivered. So contractual performance can be tracked. That's very important. You have to measure it, manage it, and control it. So when it comes to estate management or trade or treasury, you can use blockchains. Absolutely transparent. The trust and transparency is a must for financial service. A blockchain is an enabler. If you look at the bigger picture, you have increased transparency, increased financial solution in terms of the crisis. So if you understand the dynamics of the financial solutions, increased financial solutions, and when it comes to tracking this, you'll also understand error handling will be minimized and reconciliation is auto-driven, and you will be in a position to see the accuracy of the transactions at every level. So that is the beauty of blockchain. For example, if you take the purchase agreement, let's take a company, transaction between Australia and Japan, all the trade related process from issuing a letter of credit to delivering the trade documents completely via Hyperledger Fabric platform using blockchain database. This has resulted in following benefits. If you look at, which I mentioned earlier, multiple benefits. Delivery time will be shorter in terms of trade documents. It's only instantaneous or few hours. Reduction also in terms of creation of the documentation, transmission of the documentation, as well as our labor cost. Transformation in terms of trust and transparency. So you start with the simple transaction between Marubeni, Australia, to reduce the overall processing time, that is request for the LC issuance. Immediately Australian enterprise will ask Mizuho, for example. Mizuho will issue their own branch in Japan, and they will advise the LCs to Marubeni, Japan. So you have clarity in terms of registration of the trade documents, you have clarity in terms of the shipment of goods, and you're also making sure there is no gap in the whole process. So you are simultaneously, constantly you are seeing the change in phase of the documentation. So documentation registration will take place, and on receipt of payment you will have a complete, you have exporter sitting on the one side, that is Japan, the importer is sitting in Australia, and you have a clear, after the documentation, registration, settlement will take place. That is, again, it will go from Australia to, it will go from Japan to Australia rather, and the settlement of payment will start from Australia, and the fund settlement will take place from Australia to the exporter who is sitting in Japan. So it is a process where you are able to integrate and synchronize the whole equation in the form of modeling. So everything is simple. Importer is in Australia, importing company, importing bank sitting in Australia, exporting company, again, their clients will have the equations, and you have complete documentation synchronized in total terms. That's the advantage of blockchain. So huge transformation is going to take place in terms of trade finance in the coming days.